The way I heard about this video was that it was all over my timeline while I was at the gym. And it's basically a lot of, I guess you could call them alt-right if that term is still operative. A lot of these influencers in the sort of Gavin McGinnis type or Elijah Schaffer sphere, basically saying we're finally fighting back, donate money to this girl, and she has raised over 100 grand. Now, I'm just very ambivalent about this. Let me be fair to Shiloh. I understand if she is a single mother, and I presume she is, I understand the struggles. And I also understand that she probably doesn't have the ability or the means to get out of bad neighborhood situations. And she's fed up. And I certainly get it. But then I guess what I don't like is, the N word is pretty nasty. And just yelling it at children, it's sort of hard to defend. But I get it. People lose their cool and you should deserve some understanding. What I really don't like is this way in which someone like Shiloh becomes the telos, the goal of our movement and the face of our movement. I mean, Lily is an excellent example from a year ago. God bless Lily, of course, but she's just sort of a basic bitch who said the N word in a bikini while on TikTok. And she now has a show. I mean, I'm reminded of that line from Idiocracy. My wife is tarded. She's a pilot now. It's like I dropped the M bomb. I'm a commentator now. And it's not like her commentary is even worse than the average right wing slop, but it's just sort of bizarre. And so we're talking about the free speech issue in the context of dropping N bombs in a playground. And, I would actually prefer just outright speech codes when it comes to some of these things. Like, you can't say that because there would be an explicit rules based order that you can follow. First off, I don't like hearing people just dropping N bombs everywhere and just being vulgar and stupid. I don't think that's something that we should promote. But I actually think it would be a better situation if there were some rules out there. And then if you could follow those rules to the letter, and they would be superficial rules just about actual words, or like you can't deny the Holocaust or whatever, then you can start engaging in some subtlety in terms of what you're promoting. You can start changing the way people think, and it would funnel more intelligent actors into the sphere if there were outright speech codes. I guess this is a little bit of a thought experiment, but I'm actually serious about it. And instead, what we have is this, where it's like the right wing wants to get so excited about this girl, bless her heart. But all that means is that what we are as a movement is yelling inwards at adolescents. And that's actually really bad. That doesn't go anywhere. That makes us look like complete assholes. That makes us look like white trash if we're really honest about it. And so I'm very ambivalent. I don't want this woman to be canceled. It's just like, so this is what motivates the right. This is what you guys want to fight for. You want to raise 100 grand for this person. It's just very frustrating. And when I look at a movement that does this, my impression is, well, you're not just sticking up for everyone. You're not doing charity. If you want to go do a soup kitchen or help the homeless, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. That's something that churches do across the country, but you're something different. You're an identitarian movement. And yet, this seems to be the direction in which you're pushing. And I look at that and I really can't take any of these people seriously. So basically, in this country, after the Brandenburg decision by the Supreme Court, You could literally say, we need to round up the Jews, or one day we need to round up members of Congress and just shoot the bastards. You can say that. That's actually protected speech. Now, whether you should be speaking in such stupid term is its own question. But what if they said, and this is almost like an acceleration, it's worse the better argument, but like, what if they said, you literally cannot criticize Israel? We have now like resolutions in Congress, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, blah, blah. But what if they just said you can't criticize Israel? That would be very interesting because power would be revealed. No one could say that this is a free country. You can say whatever you want. No one could say it's just another country. They don't have special accommodations or anything like that. No one could say that because it would be explicit. And then you could engage in the subtle art of criticizing countries like Israel. And in some ways, it's more powerful because you start to change the way people think, and then they start looking at Israel in a different way, as opposed to saying, like Lucas Gage saying, like, fuck the Jews, I hate Israel, they kill babies. I get it. There's a time and place for venting, but it's just useless. It's just useless crap.